Okay. So how does it feel being in front of the camera instead of behind it now?
It's weird. I used to be in front of the camera in high school for like video news. So, but I'm always like behind the camera now, which I like it a lot better. But it's so weird because like I'm always the one like, oh man, is the camera angle right and whatnot? And now I just have to sit here. I grew up in the small town of Decatur, Indiana, which is like an hour and a half from here. It's like up near Fort Wayne, if you know where Fort Wayne's at. I always tell people it's near Fort Wayne because no one's heard of Decatur. But yeah, I grew up the youngest, so I was the baby in the family. But I had really good parents. My grandparents lived right across the street from us, so that was kind of nice. Got to see them often, and yeah, just had a really good, like, loving family growing up, which I really benefited from and something that I always cherished. Yeah, I danced a lot growing up. My sisters clog danced, and I did since I was like 3 years old, 3 or 4. I danced, so I did like tap, jazz, clogging, hip hop, you name it. I probably did it at least once. Yeah, coming to college, I really kind of redefined my faith. I grew up in church, and when I was in high school, I kind of fell into the trap of doing things like whatever I did. Like I loved doing video work and stuff like that, but I always had the mindset of like, oh, I have to do this to please God, or I'm doing this for Him. And I never really grasped the idea of like a relationship with God. Like I knew it was true, I heard it all the time growing up. But it wasn't until I was in college when I got into Chi Alpha and I read a book by Skye Jethani called With, and it really kind of helped me understand that God is supposed to be, we're supposed to have this like relationship with Him, kind of like you have like a relationship like with your dad or your brother, your sister, your mom, your friends. And to me, it was so simple, and I'd heard it all the time, but it never really soaked through until I came to college. And for me, it just changed a lot of how I view my faith, how I view other people. And for me, it was just so much more freeing and more, it was more attractive, I guess, and just very much more like, wow, why didn't I realize this earlier? So my sophomore year, I took a creative writing class, and it was one of my requirements for core. And we did poetry, and I hated poetry in high school. You know, you read all like the old poems, you know, and I just did not like it at all. But this class, we got to write like whatever we wanted to, like poem-wise. And so it kind of gave me a chance to explore a little bit more, and I actually really liked it. And so I started writing poems just for fun, and I thought, man, I really like video, like why not combine the two? And so I started doing like little short videos like here and there. And then my summer between my sophomore and junior year, I thought, man, it'd be cool to do like a webisode, or, you know, have like a series each week and do something and focus like on a different topic. And so that's kind of where Give Me a Hot Minute started from. But it's really pushed me and challenged me a lot. There are times when I am having like a rough day or I'm struggling with something, and I remember a poem I written like a couple months ago, and it's like, man, that's kind of convicting. Which is really weird to like see yourself like telling your future self like, oh yeah, my past self's right, I shouldn't do this or whatever. But it's something that I've really enjoyed to do, and it's really helped me grow a lot while I've been in college as well. While I've been in Chi Alpha, one of the things Chi Alpha has taught me is that you can't draw closer to God without having people around you that have that same kind of mindset. Kind of like the old phrase, like no man is an island. You can't grow close to God just by yourself. You need other people around you. And that's been a big thing for me being in Chi Alpha, just having brothers and sisters in Christ who have that same kind of ambition to want to know God. And that's really been big for me. No, I think the hardest thing for me in college has just been keeping the faith. Being in TCOM, being around people who are so invested in making videos, like advancing your career and stuff like that, it's so easy to get wrapped up in, man, am I doing enough? Am I filming enough? Am I building my resume up? And it can really swallow you if you get invested in it too much. And for me, I had to learn early on, like, what do I want my life to be about like most importantly, if that makes sense. I really enjoy doing video and everything that comes with it, but for me, my relationship with God is the most fulfilling thing in my life and my relationship with other people. And so trying to teach myself to not make my life so much about my career or putting my identity in that, but rather knowing that, man, if I'm not the best at what I do in my video career, that it's not the end of the world. That's not ultimately who I am. And sometimes that's hard because you invest a lot in what you do, but reminding yourself that my identity is in God and not exactly what I can or can't do. I don't know what'll happen the next couple of months. A lot of people ask me like, oh, what's your plan the next couple years? Like, I honestly don't know. A year ago, I never thought I would get hired at a church and be doing like associate work. So it's just kind of like, well, God, I guess we'll see what happens. But I'm excited. I'm very still much wanting to do like documentary work. That's kind of my passion as far as video side things. But I also really enjoy investing in other people, and I really found that out just by being in Chi Alpha and being a core group leader. And so for me, it kind of seems like the right step to work in a church. I get to work with people, invest in other people, but I also get to do video needs for the church as well. When I was a freshman, I wish I would have realized how much other students and classmates look to other students and classmates for fulfillment and just to do life with each other. Being a senior now, I realize how much people watch me. It took me a while to realize, and it wasn't until I was a core group leader my junior year, just to find, to see people who aren't broken, because everybody goes through struggles, and to see somebody else your age not going through the same struggles you are, or finding more happiness in life, people gravitate towards that. And so I just encourage people to really take notice that you have, how do I say this? Take notice that you are difference makers, and that people in your classrooms do notice when you're not complaining about school, but other people are. And don't take that as a weight on your shoulders, but rather a blessing to make a difference in other people.